My name is Liam, and this is the first park that I've made in Planet Coaster. I wanted to show it off to everyone that I could, so here I am. I'm gonna do a little bit of a tour. I started off jumping right into this without doing any of the career mode. My whole goal for this park was to just learn a little bit of how the game works and placement of terrain and rides and just get myself a little bit more familiar with the game's systems. But I also wanted to see if I could make it look pretty. Specifically, with this desert theme, I wanted to make a really small park enclosed with some hills, with a rock and a little bit of water in the center, with stuff around it, kind of like an oasis. I think I've accomplished that quite well. That's all I really wanted as my goal going into this. So I spent a day or two on this park, but that's about it. I gave myself 2 days to learn the basics of the game, and then I was going to go work on a project that I actually cared a little bit more about. The Western theme has never really motivated me all that much. I just wanted a theme that I wouldn't use most likely when I got more familiar with the game, and I wanted it to be like the first thing that I did, pretty much. So let's take a little bit of a look around. I've got my entryway here. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know there was a larger western entrance that I could have used. That was what I believed to be it for the western theme. I didn't use any of the western animatronics either, really, besides the exploding barrels here and these fans and stuff. I didn't use any of the bandits or the cowboys. I didn't even realize they were there, otherwise I probably would have. Though when I put people into a park, I like to put them into some sort of diorama, and I didn't really have much in the way of time to do that. So all of these buildings here are pre-made buildings around a square. I'm pretty happy with the square. It's not particularly easy to do when you terraform the area beforehand and you're not given flat ground. That was a bit of a pain and a learning process. I have the park closed so there aren't any guests around, just because it really does actually affect my frame rate. And my computer's not all that new, and the more guests, the worse it gets. So I've got 2 custom-made coasters. That was something else I wanted to do when making this, is I just wanted to learn a little bit about how this game deals with the coaster creation, and it's really robust and quite nice, though these are terrible coasters, I believe. Oh hey, there's that one's not bad actually. It's really short though. Both of them are super short coasters. So it's a park mostly of thrill rides and gentle rides. I think I used every single one. Just to fill space, really. I'll zoom out here so you can see there is a lot of extra space I could have worked with, but I restricted myself to about a quarter of the map because I wanted it to be dense with scenery. That's always my goal with these maps, is to make it like a mini golf course when it comes to how dense the scenery is. So there's a lot of bushes here. I spent a lot of time just throwing down bushes and a lot of barrels and lanterns so that it would look good even at night, and especially here in the dusk. I really like that look with the Ferris wheel. So there's a few custom-made buildings, not much. I just replaced some of the Western style stuff so I could get a first aid and a restroom. So that was my first journey into customizing buildings, and that's just me removing the front of some of these other buildings to put the necessary utilities I needed. And then this was the actual, like, really first building I made, was the station housing. It's duplicated for the other station as well, and very, very simple, but my first building. And it looked okay, I figured. So that's just my first park. There's a little, there's a few things here and there, little campfires that I didn't have to make because they're based in the game, and a lot of props that just came with the game. There's very little customization that I did here. I just wanted to make it look good with the in-game theme as it was, so I could learn a little bit more about the game and get myself more familiar with it. But I'm still pretty happy with how it turned out, especially for how little work I put into it. I probably only put maybe 6 hours into this park, and I think it turned out really well. It's very pretty for what it is. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'll move on to some of my other parks and most likely just get back to playing the game.